Libra, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started here for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. See what the energy is for the week ahead. Now, keep in mind, my friends, these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements to get a more full picture of what's going on. All right, let's get started here for Libra. And if you'd like a personal reading, you can find that information in the description below. Okay, Libra, what's the current energy around Libra this week? First card out is Fork in the Road in reverse. So having some indecision here, having some, difficulty making a decision about what direction you're moving into next. And seeing soulmates in reverse here with no place like home and time to go. Okay, Libra, bottom of the deck is blessed in reverse. So, whenever I see this blessed card in reverse, I always think there's something you don't see coming. There's some shift you don't see coming, and it's actually going to be quite wondrous. And so I'm wondering if you're trying to control something here that maybe out of your control. I'm seeing soulmates in reverse here as well, and time to go, and no place like home. So it's interesting. Taken together, this tells me that you're at a point where you feel you have to make a decision about which direction to move into next. And that is proving to be a difficult choice for you. There may be someone in your life that has sort of this contract or a task that is karmic in nature, where they could be very close to you. They could even be living in your home, but they could be someone in your life that is sort of there as a reflection of something within you that needs shifting. And that can often happen. Sometimes we see soulmates and we think, oh, it must be love, it must be permanence. But not always. Soul contracts or soulmates are designed to serve a purpose. And yes, sometimes that purpose is to be a romantic companion. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just to bring in an energy that you need in your moment right now, in your present moments, to help you grow, to help you develop, to help you evolve, to push you outside of your comfort zone, which is what I'm sort of feeling, that there's someone in your space, in your energetic space, that is pushing you and pushing you. And it's pushing you outside of a place where you're comfortable. And it's like you're feeling like you need to make a decision about something. It feels to me like what you need to do is surrender. And to sort of understand if there is a situation in your life that is just not moving in a direction that feels like you could learn anything more from this, then it might be time to go. It might be time to sort of move away from something. And I feel like that's what you're thinking of here. It feels to me like you're feeling like in order for you to feel at home with yourself, you may need to move away from someone in your life because there's nothing left for you to understand here. This card really signifies a time where you've learned everything you need to learn. The contract is complete. And so when soul contracts come into completion, there is sometimes a need to release them. And that almost stamps the contract as final. Do you know what I mean? And so seeing soulmates in reverse and seeing blessed in reverse, that really tells me that you could be experiencing some shifting dynamics in a relationship with someone, and this doesn't have to be romantic. Like I said, it could be a coworker, it could be a friendship, it could be romantic, or it could just be someone in your life that it feels like, that there's a strong bond between you, but something about this relationship is no longer serving you. And it's time to go. It's almost like it's finished. The contract is complete. You did it. You guys did the work that you agreed to do, that you prearranged in the astral. You agreed to do this together and you've done it. So good job. Mission complete, right? And now the difficulty comes in the separation, the acknowledgement that there's nothing left for you to accomplish together unless you decide you want to accomplish something together. But the task that this person was in your life to complete with you, it feels like it's been completed. And this blessed card on the bottom of the deck tells me that you may not be expecting that this is now moving into a space of sort of conclusion and energy, like it's completing. And you might not realize how much of a blessing that will be. There might be a part of you hanging on still, which is why fork in the road is in reverse. You might be having some letting go indecision. There may be other factors depending on, because this is a general reading, depending on what are those factors for you. You might be feeling like you can't let go of this person yet. But that letting them go will actually bring in quite a wonderful effect in your life. Not because there's anything wrong with this person, but just because, sometimes we complete the work we've set out to do with each other, and we become very attached, so it can be hard to let go. But I feel like there is something changing around you that's going to cause this movement to release. There will be movement, and it might be outside of your control, which could solve this indecision for you. Now, let's jump into the tarot cards here, Libra, and see what messages you will receive on this apparent soul contract that has completed. You guys finished the work you set out to do. Okay, first tarot card is the moon. Yes, so there is anxiety here. There is this unknown feeling around this connection where things are sort of shifting, like we talked about, and it may feel like it's outside of your control. It may feel like you want to take control, but you don't know what to do because you can't see the full picture yet. The moon card always makes me think that there is anxiety here. There is fear here. And seeing the hermit follow that tells me in reverse that you might be hiding out from this person right now anyway. Like the energy around you is very clear that you might be even withdrawing from them. And so you might not know how to detach from them. Perhaps they're hanging on to you. Perhaps you're ready to detach, but you're just not sure how to do it or what the outcome will be. When I see the moon and the hermit here, and not knowing the outcome is keeping you at a standstill. It's keeping you in a place where you're not willing to take a risk, right? So that no place like home card tells me that, you're being authentic right now and you're not willing to budge from your authenticity, which is positive. However, you might need to sort of expand your comfort zone a little bit past where you would like to expand it, because I feel like you're at a standstill and it feels like your next move takes place outside of your comfort zone. So you might have to make a trip outside of your comfort zone because you're feeling really pessimistic in the comfort zone. Look at that. You got the sun, the moon, and the hermit. Wow. You're really making some moves here, Libra. You're developing through the journey here. You're making your way through things, but it's interesting. You're carrying fear more than optimism, and you're hiding out. You're seeing that there's no way to move away from this contract, or there's no way to improve the situation and stay in the contract. I feel like there's almost this, it almost feels like a codependency, and it could be that you're codependent on each other, or that one person is more codependent on the other. You'll have to see where it fits for you, but it feels like wherever you're at with this contract, this relationship, it feels like you're feeling really, really pessimistic that the outcome could be positive if you stay or you go. I feel like you're feeling sort of like you know, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And I think that that's got to transform. That's got to shift, because there's no sitting in that sort of you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, means that you're not going to do anything. You're just going to stand still. And there's the Page of Cups. So that says to me that this energy needs to shift. This energy needs to shift, and it could be that it has to start on an emotional level for you, Libra, because logically you might not see a solution here. But it feels like emotionally, if you follow what your emotional and intuitive guidance is, that you know what to do, and that you know transformation and sort of a regeneration is necessary here, because this is stagnating. You can't move forward here. Seeing the Ace of Swords in reverse like that, now we're talking logic, like I was just saying, emotionally and logically. Logically, I think you're stuck. You're like, there's no way around this. You like, if it's almost like if you were chatting with a friend about this and they said, well, what if you try this? You're like, nope, that won't work because of this. And then they're like, well, what if you try this? And they're like, nope, that won't work because of this. I can't do that because of this. I can't do that because of this. And it's like you're not open to looking at things from a different perspective to say, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to trust that somehow it'll work out. You know, it's like you're not entertaining, trusting anything right now. If you can't logically connect it, like A plus B equals C, and then you see C in front of you as evidence that that's what will happen, it's like you're not willing to budge. And that's why we see this card in reverse. I feel like movement is being indicated here, that it's time to make a move, and that it may be time to go, like we see in this card, and that the outcome will be a blessing. But you need evidence. It feels like you're needing some evidence before you take a step. I think emotionally you know that it's time to make a shift here. Yeah, Six of Wands, Temperance, and the King of Swords in reverse. So, yeah, you might be doing some sort of looking for, like I said, you're looking for evidence. It's like you need external validation before you go ahead with making a move here. Temperance is guiding you to trust here and to be in balance and to be in the now. And so that's a solid piece of guidance here coming through. You've got so many major arcana. This Temperance card is saying, trust that it takes time to move energy from one chalice to another, and that it's not always up to you what the schedule is. And you staying grounded in your emotions in the now, and staying grounded in sort of this trust that all will be well, is important for you, because I think right now you're sort of casting a no on everything. Like I said, even I'm sort of getting this idea that even if you were talking to a friend about this situation, if they tried to make a suggestion, you would find a reason why that suggestion wouldn't work. And that might be the case. Like, it might be that the past has proven to you that those suggestions will not work. But moving forward, I feel like if you don't add some flexibility into the logic, you will stay in this standstill until something external comes in outside of your control to change things, like a tower moment that shakes the foundation enough that there's no choice but to accept change. So you can either sort of take the decision that you feel intuitively guided to take now, or I feel like if you don't, eventually the energy is going to shift anyway, because this isn't sustainable. And seeing the King of Swords in reverse tells me right now that you're not flexible. You're thinking in a very concrete and rigid way, which I think happens when we're feeling pessimistic, right? When we're feeling like we're not going to get an outcome that meets our needs, then of course you're locked into that sort of thinking. It becomes very rigid and concrete. It becomes right, wrong. It becomes black, white. It becomes yes, no. It doesn't allow movement like this Temperance card is guiding you towards. Now, bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, which tells me that, again, you're feeling like at a standstill. You feel like things aren't moving towards your highest good. Now, Libra, I gotta say, you may disagree with me, which is completely up to you, totally your decision, but it feels to me like everything is always moving us towards our highest good. Now, does that mean it's always comfortable? No, for sure, no. But does it mean it's always sort of like pushing you to find that highest good for yourself, to be authentic, to realize what serves you and what doesn't, what you need to let go of, what there's still there's still something to discover. I feel like seeing these cards says to me that there's nothing left for you to discover here. You've been in this situation, it feels like, for a while, and I feel like you've looked at it from different perspectives, and you've realized that there's nothing left here for you to uncover. Like, it feels like you really have completed this contract. And it feels like the Wheel of Fortune is trying to get you to sort of move past this now and move on to the next thing. But you're reluctant to do that for some reason. There feels like a codependency here. And it feels like, I can think of a few examples, but I don't want to use examples because then you might feel like that's what the reading is saying. This could be anything. But like, the example coming to mind is being in a relationship with someone and, let's say, having children, or there is a discrepancy between who's bringing in the resources. And so it feels like, oh, you're reluctant to leave because, well, how am I gonna earn a living, or who's gonna help me raise this child, or how am I going to receive support for things that right now are provided by that person? You know what I mean? Like, it seems like that, like there's a connection between you and this person still, and you can't see a way that whatever they're providing, you can't see in your logical mind right now a way that you will be able to continue that lifestyle, or perhaps the lifestyle does need to change. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like there's a connection between you and this person that you can't wrap your mind around how it will go if you separate from them. And this is a very specific reading, my goodness. But again, it could be a coworker. Like, let's use that as an example too, to balance this out. Let's say it's a coworker or a business partner, and in your mind, you're like, wow, separating from this person means that we would have to dissolve the business, and I don't want to do that. We would have to divide the assets, and we'd have to sort of look at intellectual property rights, and maybe you're just like, oh, that sounds like a nightmare, and I know I can't keep working sustainably with this person, but I can't imagine dissolving the business and trying to go out on my own. Perhaps it's something like that. It could also be a friendship. Perhaps you and a friend have reached a point where you're just not serving each other by staying as connected because you're in different places. You've got different perspectives. You're not evolving together. So you feel very pessimistic about that because this is someone you really care about. So it could be happening on a lot of different levels depending on what's going on for you. But if you're in a situation right now that you feel you don't know how to disconnect from, this feels like it could be your reading. So let's clarify some of these cards for Libra. I want to know why that Hermit is in reverse. I think you've totally isolated yourself from this person, and you're sort of shutting down slowly from this person anyway. There's the Hierophant. So that's interesting. That makes me feel like a few things. The first thing that comes to mind is, again, this idea that you could be married to this person. It also comes to mind that idea of the soul contract is being, you're not wanting to rock the boat, right? You're wanting to keep the contract because it feels like if you break the contract that you're stepping outside of some kind of normalcy, or some kind of like conventional behavior, traditional behavior, where it's like you're going against something that feels like an established foundation or tradition that's rooted in you. And it feels like that is why you're sort of retreating, but staying in the connection. But you're finding a way, like, let's say it's a marriage. You're not talking to this person, or you're not spending time with this person, or you're not really working like a married couple. You're sort of like two entities living under one roof, but have nothing to do with each other. Or you're in a friendship with a person and you're keeping them at distance, but you're not fully cutting the cord. If it's like a business relationship or a coworker, same thing. You're doing your work, but you're not engaging with them, because that would be sort of breaking a contract, and you're not interested in that. Some of this could be legal, right? Like a marriage, divorce is legal. Dissolving a business, that's legal. It's interesting. It feels like that's why you're withdrawing. Now let's look at the sun here. Why is the sun in reverse? Yeah, the sun's in reverse. There's the Two of Wands. So that makes me feel like the sun is in reverse because you just can't imagine a next step without this person. Not because you want them in your life, but because you feel like irrevocably tied to this person for some reason. And again, there could be lots of good reasons for that, like marriage or a long-standing relationship. And you're just like, wow, how can I walk away from this? Who's gonna help me with the kids? Who's gonna pay the mortgage with me? Feels like that kind of stuff. And you're not trusting that all will be well, and that things will realign and reorganize so that all will be well. You may need to add some spirituality to this. Okay, look at that. We've got the Ace of Cups and the Six of Cups. So this tells me that this is something that has been around for a long time. Like, so you've been involved with this person in whatever way for a while. Like they're from your past for sure. And the Ace of Cups is saying this needs a freshness. So, it might be that you can have a new beginning with this person, but I feel like it would be very transformative, and both parties would have to be willing to do that. Bottom of the deck, I'm seeing the Nine of Cups in reverse. So that really tells me that there's a part of you that's just so dissatisfied with how things are that you can't really imagine what it would look like to have a new beginning with this person. And maybe that idea, maybe you need to look at it from a different perspective. There's the Hangman. So you might need to look at things from a different perspective to see, to see that there's a possibility to sort of revive things. But now I'm seeing the Five of Swords. So, you might need to look at things from a new perspective in the sense of being willing to release this. Because Five of Swords in reverse tells me that, like, well, you might need to look at things from a different perspective, because this Five of Swords is sort of saying to me that you're hanging on to, maybe hanging on to some past stuff instead of seeing this person as where they are today. Or perhaps for some of you, you are seeing them where they're at today, and you're just like, I feel like so defeated by this person all the time. Our conversations, like there's a communication problem here. There's the root of this issue between you and this person seems like it's rooted in communication and just not feeling validated by them. You just don't feel seen by them. You don't feel validated by them. And that could be exactly what this contract is designed to do. Perhaps to get you to see that stuff in yourself, like for you to feel validated and heard and seen by yourself so that you're not looking for it in another person. Or, my friends, for some of you, it's just time to get in the canoe and move to another shoreline. Six of Swords. So you got the Five and the Six of Swords here. So, it's interesting. You might be hanging on to something that just, it doesn't serve you anymore. And it has provided you with a lot of valuable lessons, but maybe the next lesson is to walk away, to know when to walk away. Oh, Libra. Okay, let's have a look here to close your reading. Let's see what oracle card you'll receive. What is the highest guidance for Libra in this situation. Highest guidance for Libra in this situation. Let's see what other cards come out. We got one. Okay. Let's see. Wisdom, pleasure, and power. Interesting. So I'm going to give you the messages right from the book here. I like the way these messages have been written. So the wisdom message, I think, is guiding you to know, to look beneath the surface, to see really what is the truth about this connection here. So this is really about going through a stormy cycle and seeing that if on the surface things are really unstable and sort of like a rocky surface, there is a deeper sort of knowing of serenity and peace that could be coming up to reveal itself to you, but you have to have the wisdom to sort of be open to that and see it. I feel like seeing the King of Swords in reverse tells me that, you might be shutting down a lot of things that could sort of be beneficial to you. Like there could be some signs with that Page of Cups too. There could be some directional assistance happening around you that you're not paying attention to necessarily. You might not be really overly focused on what's going on outside of you. You could just be sort of feeling it all internally. The pleasure card is sort of guiding you to do exactly what we just said, to stop and smell the roses, stop and notice things. Let seeking pleasure be part of your guidance system. Because we see fork in the road here to start your reading. And so if you're having guidance or a directional indecision, perhaps seeking pleasure could be one of your markers where you're like, I'm going to choose the path that makes me feel like I'm embracing my authenticity and my pleasure. Perhaps I'm going to move in a direction that allows pleasure to be a part of my consideration. Are you considering that? Right? Or are you just considering what this person sort of provides you with in terms of that codependency? You might be overly focused on that and dismissing this idea of pleasure. You might be like, well, I don't have time for pleasure. I got to be grounded here in this reality that I'm living in. But why can't we include your happiness in that, right? If you're truly feeling like you can't be happy in this situation because it's no longer serving you, there's something here that you need to consider perhaps. Now, the final card you received here is the Power card. Now, this Power card is an interesting one because it can sometimes sort of give us this guidance of taking a stand, really standing up for ourselves and sort of holding fast to what it is that makes us feel like we're stepping into our own potential. So this card could be coming up for you because you feel uncertain, but it's time to be courageous and do what serves you, Libra. This reading is really trying to empower you to be courageous and sort of be authentic, make moves that make you feel like you're serving yourself right now. Because I feel like you may not be including that in your decision making. You might just be looking at how you think this relationship is serving you, but it's not. It's interesting. This has been a very interesting reading. Fulfillment on the bottom of the deck, Libra. I'm going to leave it at that. All right. I hope this has been helpful and resonated for you. Thank you so much for being here today. And I look forward to reading for you again soon, my friends. And I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care.